This here is the pump house for Boise Warm Springs. It was originally constructed in the 1890s. They originally drilled the well behind me in 1892, and then the secondary well was only about 2 months later in 1893. They got to the depth of 400 feet with the flow rate of 800,000 gallons per day. They definitely knew that they had a pretty good resource here, and that's where it actually started up with them pumping it down to what they call the natatorium, which was a swimming pool and kind of a meeting place for everyone in Boise. And from that point, the construction owner of the project, C.W. Moore, decided to pipe it down to his house to see if he could utilize it as a heating source and a domestic water source. So that's kind of how the district kind of got its first start. And they realized that you could actually use the water for just a little bit more than just swimming pools.
What makes the district unique is in the ways that it's used, the water is used. It's used not only for heating homes in our district, but it's also used as a domestic water source. So we got folks that are basically tied into the geothermal with their hot tap. The AC pipe that's in the ground it's coming up on its end of life. It was originally spec'd out to last 40 to 50 years. And so we're coming up on that, and we started to see an increase in failures on our main line.
Mainline breaks last 3 years, probably, I'm going to say, just rounded off, say probably at least 20. I would say it started out about 8,000 per repair, but as the time advanced, it got up to about 20 grand a repair.
The current pipe material on the main line is asbestos cement AC pipe. The biggest issue with it is that over time it starts getting soft. So people think of AC pipe as, oh, it's brittle, but with water, it doesn't necessarily get brittle and break. It gets soft and then starts falling apart. And what they're seeing with their system is at the joints or at the connections where there's service lines, that pipe's starting to delaminate and fall apart and starts leaking. And then those leaks will travel towards some of the ductile iron fittings, and it starts eating those ductile iron fittings away. So it's a combination of multiple things that's just failing with small little leaks and then grows and gets larger and larger. The upgrades that are included in this project are about 3,100 feet of new 12-inch mainline. The new pipe is a high temperature HDPE pipe. It's only been on the market for about 10 years, so it's fairly new in the ideas of geothermal water usage. One of the biggest challenges was funding. The funding packages were really hard to come by. You know, the city of Boise is not a low-income city by any means, and that pushed them out of any opportunity for grants. But that being said, you know, they also only have 300 connections on their system. So when you look at a $3 million project spread out amongst 300 users, that's a really big price tag. So in Idaho, to borrow money or incur indebtedness, you have to go to a public vote. It passed by 93% of the voters voted yes to do it. So when we say overwhelmingly, 93% is extremely high. And their voter turnout was in the 90% of the district voted. So it was, once again, it was definitely needed, and they definitely wanted the project to move forward.
Great West Engineering has been instrumental in making this project happen. And you know, we got nothing but good things to say about that organization. Our engineer, project engineer, Andrew Kimmel, has been outstanding. He's just been on top of everything, answering all of our questions, you know, keeping us in the know at all times. And there haven't been any surprises not lately, but ever since the project started. So yeah, we have nothing but good things to say about Great West Engineering, specifically Andrew. I think it'll be a big relief, especially for the for Dell and Scott and Anika, who are actually the boots on the ground, quote unquote. They're the ones that are up here dealing with the leaks and problems with the system. And I think once this new pipe is laid in place, then it should help reduce our maintenance costs and any kind of problems that we have coming down the pipe. No pun intended, but
Basically for me, it's going to cut down on a lot of repairs, and I'll be the happiest guy in town, not have to worry about driving down Warm Springs and seeing a leak out on the main line.